Hello, children of the African descent. Happy African Child Day celebration to you all. My name is Nanya Juliet Oti, and today I will be telling you a story titled A Dead Dream. It's a very sad story, and I know it's an African Child Day celebration, but because we want to solve a problem of social justice for the children of the African descent, I consider this the best platform to tell you the typical story of an African child in tandem with today's theme of celebration. Listen and be blessed. I met Toby, whose life drowned in the streets of Lagos in search of food to eat and water to drink. Toby was a 10-year-old Nigerian child born out of wedlock to a teenage mother whose livelihood depended solely on her fried plantain and yam business. Toby's father was unknown to him until that night came when Toby's mother screamed at the apex of her voice. Toby, whose rest space was 1 inch away from his mother's mat, woke up in shock as he saw her struggling with her heart. It was midnight and Toby didn't know what to do. He held his mother close to his arm and patted her back as he gave her water to drink. But she was losing her breath. He ran outside and screamed for help, but no one came to his rescue. He ran back inside, crying and frightened. He hugged his mother as he wept, saying, "Don't leave me alone in this world, Mother. You are all I have." His mother answered with a dry and weary voice, Your father, son. You need to know him now. He is a senator, Senator Ajake Williams. He resides here in Lagos. Find him, son. Until you do, stay strong. I will watch over you in heaven. Before Toby could say a word, his mother had died. He was a juvenile, but he understood what being a senator meant. He knew that a senator has a lot of money and assets. Toby cried his heart out. He wept bitterly with so much self-turmoil as he covered his mother's face. After that night, Toby became a survivor in the streets of Lagos. Toby was one of those Nigerian children found on the highways, pathways, in shops, on bridges, holding the clothes of women, men, boys and girls, begging them for money, even 10 naira to drink water. Sometimes he got beaten and pushed away by some people who couldn't tolerate his behavior and that of others. Besides the money to survive, Toby also needed the money that would take him to his father, who abandoned him and his mother. He wanted to be a surgeon. He wanted to go to school, and he knew it was only his father that could give him that. Toby, who was only 10 years old, held a lot of pain, hurt, and hate in his heart. He would often ask his fellow kids why their leaders couldn't see that they existed and they were suffering. But none of them had answers to his question. One day, Toby came back from his hustle for food and found the place they used as an abode being demolished by the government. He joined some of the other children who were violating the police's command to vacate the place. At the cost of their resistance, 2 of them were shot dead by the police. People around screamed, shouted, cried, and complained, but nothing could be done and nothing was done. At the age of 17, Toby had become a swindler. He wore it like an identity. He had a gang of teenagers who robbed people every night. They were popularly known as the Kabaka Gang in their neighborhood. He finally decided to pay his father a visit along with his gang. He had planned the operation from the day he laid on the ground under the bridge. That night, Toby stood in front of his dad with a gun pointed to his face while his colleagues robbed jewelries and broke safes filled with naira and dollars. Toby stood as his father knelt, weeping for his life. He asked him, "Why did you leave me and my mother, Senator?" His father stuttered, "You are my son?" "Yes, I am your son," he said. And before his father could talk further, he buried the bullets in his forehead. At that time, the police had surrounded the house. As Toby and his gang heard their siren, they tried to escape, but they were caught. Toby, whom the police kept asking to freeze, ran as fast as his leg could take him, and the police shot him dead. Toby wasn't the only child whose dream had died in the streets. Save our children. Save them from the thug life.